Welcome to another exciting episode of Rogue Finances and Life, where we are life and financially sound. Today, I have our guest speaker, Mr. Kevin Johnson. Mr. Kevin Johnson is the founder, chief visionary, and chief executive officer of the Johnson Leadership Group, LLC, and he's an independent certified coach, mentor, trainer, and speaker with the nationally recognized John Maxwell team, where he leads learning experiences that are tailored to meet the specific needs of the audience to help maximize efficiency, growth, awareness, and effectiveness. Without any further ado, here's Mr. Kevin Johnson.
All right, thank you. Thank you. It's so nice to be with you, and thank you so much for the invitation.
Well, thank you for having the time and making the time to be available to, because I know for sure between me and you, we be able to bless some of our audience with an aspects of finances and life.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
So you want to tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, I am a native of Richmond, Virginia, and my dad served in the United States Marine Corps for 20 years. And my mother encouraged me to pursue a career with the federal government. Right out of college, I graduated from Virginia Commonwealth University right there in Richmond as well. So I took her advice. I thought it was a very wise thing to do. And once I got started, I never looked back. And before I knew it, 34 years went by. And it was time to officially retire. So I did that 5 years ago. I spent most of my career in the area of acquisition, contracting, and procurement. So in that field, I interact a lot with the finance professionals, dealing with budget and funds execution from contracts. And then my last position was chief of staff. And in that role, I would oversee the budget and making sure that the dollars were spent properly on services rendered and products delivered. Once I retired, though, I knew I wanted to do something to help men and women in life, specifically on their professional side, but it also relates to their personal life as well. So like you stated there in the very beginning, I founded and serve as the CEO of the Johnson Leadership Group. I have a group of 10 men and women that work with me, and we provide leadership development training and executive coaching for the workforce in the government, corporations, churches, nonprofits, and also academic institutions. Been married for 29 years, almost 30, and we have 3 sons, 27, 26, and 25.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome career. So you said that you coach people on different aspects of life and you develop. So what would you say is important leadership?
Well, I would say one of the most important things is just being self-aware, being aware of who you are as a leader, because it makes you that much more effective when it comes to leading others. The more comfortable we are with ourselves, the more we know how we communicate, how we process information, how we like to make decisions and solve problems, puts us in a better position now with the awesome responsibility of developing others, helping others in their career, being an advocate and supporting and serving others, which is what leaders do. So that's very, very important. And in parallel with that, just being a balanced person, being able to balance what's going on in our personal lives with what's going on in our professional lives. That's very, very important. It's not always easy, but it's definitely doable. So those are the 2 things that really, really come to mind. Self-awareness and being balanced as best we can and recognizing and acknowledging we can't do it all. So we have to bring some good teammates around us and be comfortable with delegating some of the work because we don't have enough time to do it all ourselves.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, when you say as a leader, we supposed to know that we in the serving others, it comes to mind Jesus Christ, because even Jesus Christ as being God, and he was God as a man. That's what he was. He was a servant to others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, scripture is very clear that we should first and foremost put our priorities and put our interests first in others ahead of ourselves because of how we're created. We are created to be relational, so we do crave relationships. That's very, very important. But if you really want to be fulfilled in this life, it's all about serving others. And you'll see really, really quickly just how fulfilled and joyful you are because you know you did something good for another person toward making the world a much better place. So that's exactly what the scriptures show very clearly, that Jesus was indeed a servant and that we should be a servant as well. And, in this journey talking about leadership, I'm also an author. I've been writing now for 20 plus years. And in this season of my life, the topic that I'm writing about is leadership. And interestingly enough, the title is Leadership with a Servant's Heart, because we want people to recognize and acknowledge that it's through our service that we really do make the workplace better, we make teams better, individuals better, and the organization better as well.
Amen with that. And like even for myself and my line of duty as a financial coach, when I'm sitting down with a potential client or a person that I'm talking to, I have to keep in mind their best interests, and not so much like the amount of money that my commission is very, very less and compared to that person's best, because my duty is to make sure that I serve that person's best interest and not so much my commission. So, and that's what I love, educating and helping people develop, financially. So within leadership, there's also, while also people call management. So now there's a difference between leadership and management.
Yeah, there is. And it's a very important distinction. While there is some interdependencies amongst both of them, no doubt about it, but there is a distinct difference because you and I manage things like systems, tools, processes, procedures, systems, so to speak. We manage those. But when it comes to people, we lead them. We show them the way. We're the example. We're the role model. And so there's a difference. You don't really manage people. You lead them. And then the people that we lead are the ones that we're taking care of. And then they have the responsibility really to manage the things that we're all responsible for. For example, there was a time where just about everything we did was manual. We did manual timesheets. We would fill out manually applications for jobs. We would manually write out a check and mail it to pay our bills, right? But as we've come forward and technology has advanced, we've created more and more and more automation as it relates to our tools and our systems that help us to manage everything that we do every day. So now it's not unusual for most of us, we pay our bills electronically. For the majority of us, most of us complete our timesheets at work through a payroll system. It's automated. And so someone has to manage all of that. So the difference between managing and leading is really or overseeing processes, policies, rules, regulations, tools, and systems which are automated, but the human resource, most important resource in the workplace, we lead them through our example and by being a role model.
That is so true. Sometimes we find leaders, they are not really good at leading, and they find themselves what they call micromanaging. And it's like, I feel like if you hire somebody to do to have a specific role, then that means that you somewhat should trust that person in that role. But if you're gonna micromanage, if you're gonna also try to do that person's role, is to me, it's like it can become confrontational.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, the example that you gave, you're on point. We just have to be very careful and very diligent when it comes to everybody that we're working with and how we can serve them to make things a whole lot better. You know, leaders have a high level of responsibility that goes with the position, but also with the responsibility comes accountability and then also visibility. So we need to be aware and we need to be prepared for what's to come. And again, just showing people the way and doing it in a manner where we're making a positive impact in their lives.
Exactly. Amen to that. I agree with that. Now, what is the type of audience do you train?
Well, we're pretty deep into the marketplace. And what I mean by that is, since my background is government, federal government, 34 years as a frontline leader, mid-level leader, and a senior level leader, I know the federal government marketplace pretty well. The federal government spends $600 billion a year on goods and services. That's huge. But an extension of that is also state government. I'm here in the state of Maryland, county government. I'm in Howard County, Maryland, and also the city government. The biggest city closest to me is Baltimore. We serve all of those markets under the umbrella of government. We also serve corporations, primarily small and mid-sized. I don't work a lot with the big corporations, the multi-million-dollar corporations, but small to mid-sized corporations, leadership development training for their workforce, executive coaching, and diversity, equity, and inclusion training. And we also have a plethora of leadership assessment tools that we use as well. Because of my ministry background, I do a lot of work with churches. So I serve churches where their leaders need to be trained, and different churches will give me a call and have me to come in, and I'm more than happy to develop customized training for the ministers and the pastors and the deacon in the local church. But we also work a lot with nonprofit organizations. Nonprofit organizations, they don't exist to generate revenue, but they do exist to serve their local or their regional or even the national community. They do some really, really good work, and we've developed some really comprehensive plans for them. And then last but not least, academic institutions, including my own, Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond. I'm a guest faculty there at the School of Business. I have a great relationship with the School of Business for a good number of years now. And we have a new dean of our school. And I've been working with one of the associate professors there now for probably about 3 years, where I go on campus and I serve as a guest professor in person. And then we also have sessions where we work together virtually as well. So we work across all of those different marketplaces, customizing the curriculum to meet the needs of that particular audience.
That's great. That is so great.
Mm-hmm.
So now, when it comes to leadership, right? What is the one ingredient that you think most leaders are missing?
Well, I have no doubt about it. I know this is true, and I share it everywhere I go. There's a disconnect, clearly, between what workers are asking for and looking for and what leaders are delivering. If that weren't the case, there wouldn't be so many job openings across America. And you would not have had the millions that resigned like they did during the pandemic. So that's the first thing. But what I have discovered and what I help leaders to understand, and this is aspiring leaders and current leaders, is we have to get to the point where we align what's going on in our mind, where the subject matter expertise resides, and the acumen and the intelligence. We have to align that with what's in our heart, because from the heart, the scriptures teach us in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23, to guard your heart with all diligence. From it spring the issues of life. And what it's telling us is that from the heart is where the empathy and the compassion, the value, care, honor, and respect for other people come. And as a leader, if we can have more men and women to align the heart with the mind when we lead people, then we are well on our way to having some really, really high functioning, high performance people in the workplace. We no longer have to direct anybody. We can just ask. They'll willingly get the task done. That's the key piece that's missing. There are far too many leaders that just believe that because they're smart and they really know their stuff and they're really proficient in terms of their work role, that's all that's needed. But when it's all said and done, people need to know that you care. And that's not asking too much.
Exactly. That's right. Right about that. Now, when you go out and you say you go and speak and to different audience, so basically, so how do you choose your topics for that day? Like,
you know what? I keep it very simple. I ask them, what do you need? What's your request? What are you coming to me for? Do you want me to have a conversation around communication? Is it around influence? Is it around growth, conflict management, team building? Tell me what it is you're looking for, and then we can build a curriculum for that particular audience. So I make it easy. I ask them, what are you looking for, right? It's like when we go to the grocery store, when I go to the grocery store, I've got to get my hamburger meat, and I have to get some chicken thighs, and I need some pickles, and I want some sweet potato. We know what we're going there to get. Exactly. So when a company or an individual comes to me, they're coming to me for a reason. They're not saying, well, I don't know what I need. They know what they need. And once they articulate that to me, and we have a conversation around, here's the curriculum that I propose. And then I get busy making sure that happens. So that's how I do it. I make it easy by just asking them, what is it that you need? And then we'll have a conversation about that.
Sounds good. It sounds pretty much similar to what I do when I sit down, when I'm getting ready to talk to somebody about their finances. I get to know them, their financial needs first before I make. So by the time I'm making a recommendation, I already know exactly what are their goals, their financial goals, what are their intentions are with that sort of investment. So when I find a portfolio that best matches them, I know for sure that portfolio or that investment is going to best suit their needs and not so much. So basically, what you're saying that you don't look at it as one size fit all.
No, you can't. You have to meet the needs of your audience. Absolutely.
I agree with that. So, what do you have next in your journey?
Well, I'm actually on a national book tour. I author this series of books called Leadership with a Servant's Heart. So far, 2 have been released. And The current one has a subtitle of Leading in Your Workplace. It was released in late October 2022. So I started a national book tour starting in December of 2022. We're going to be going to 20 cities in the United States in 2023. And then we're also going to be heading over to Kenya, Africa, and also to the nation of Dubai later in 2023. That's what's currently on the schedule. If something else comes up, we'll see if we can make that happen. But we'll be at libraries doing events. We'll be at different conferences, conventions, and summits doing different events. I'll be a featured author at some of those conferences. We'll be doing book signings at different bookstores around the country. Barnes and Noble is always a good partner, and some of the other independent bookstores that welcome us in. And we'll be having conversations as a part of the book signings, conversation and a discussion about leadership. And then we'll have the book signing as a part of that. And then I'll also be touring with another group of authors in some cases, and in other cases, it'll be just me. I'll be solo. We're going to be in Washington, D.C. This month, the month of February. We'll be in Atlanta, Georgia. In the month of March. As we move into April, we'll be in my hometown of Richmond, Virginia. There's a couple of events going on there. In May, we're heading down to Houston, Texas to do some events there. And then in the month of July, I believe it's June or July, we're heading out to Los Angeles. And then I'll be also in the month of May out in San Diego, California. And lots of other places in between. We'll be in the Orlando, Florida area in July. And there are a number of other cities coming up. Minnesota, I forgot about that. Minneapolis, Minnesota in April, we'll be there. So we're really, really excited. But equally important, I'm really humbled and honored at how many people around the country have been so supportive. Lots of good book reviews from a lot of good sources. Like I said, Barnes and Noble has been a partner. The book is available through Target as well. Of course, it's on Amazon. And it's just been a joy. I've been writing for 20 years, but in this season of life, since I've retired, I'm really, really focused on the topic of leadership and specifically servant leadership. So you can check out my website to always know what's going on. We keep our events calendar up to date. The website is thejohnsonleadershipgroup.com, after the name of the company, thejohnsonleadershipgroup.com. And everything there is posted. And we're excited about what 2023 is going to bring.
Amen to that. That's great. So, and that I also will post your website on our description below the video, so people can go and click on it.
Excellent. Excellent. Absolutely.
So, yeah, I tell you, this has been very, very great. I know for sure that this is going to help a lot of people, because a lot of people need the help.
Yeah. Yep. That's what we're there to do. We're there to serve. And that's what I'm leading this national conversation on that topic. It's leadership primarily, but we also have a lot of discussion on servant leadership and helping people to understand why it's so important.
So now you said your book is available on Amazon, right?
Yes.
Amazon. Is it also available for those that like to listen in audio form?
It's not available in audio form yet, but that is definitely one of my plans in 2023. It's available in ebook, it's available in print, but I definitely plan to also have it available in audiobook as well, soon and very soon.
And I'll definitely be looking forward to checking out some of your books.
All right, excellent, fantastic, thank you.
So anything else, any parting words that you have for this audience today?
Yeah, I would say that as it relates to both our personal lives and our professional lives, everything should always be about getting better and doing better. And so the theme that we're really using this year in 2023 is to know better, do better, and lead better. It goes in that order. never stop wanting to learn, never stop applying what you learn, so that when it's all said and done, everyone will be better. So
Yeah.
that's what I want to leave with your fantastic listening audience.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate your time. I know for sure that this is, like I said earlier, this is really gonna bless somebody in our audience. Very informative. I learned a lot myself. And well, this is all the time we have for today. We want to appreciate Mr. Kevin Johnson for spending his time and being able to drop a couple nuggets of wisdom. Until we hear from you guys next time, we want to wish you to continue to be blessed and wish you a very happy and prosperous 2023.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.